you can go ahead and get financing from the bank and come with that down payment. So you could take the bank's money and pair it with the hard money lender money, and then you got a deal.
You talking spicy.
You never brought none of your money to the table.
I'm about to jump.
You know what I mean? You never brought none of your money to the table. So here it is. You borrowed from the bank and gave money to the hard money lender, and then you got that property. So you in a game from nothing, just from experience and leverage, right? So now,
ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Marvin Francois Show, here where we talk all things business, finance, and investing. And today is a very special day because we have none other than my guy, Newt.
appreciate it, bro. Thanks
The
for having
entrepreneur, man. Happy to be here.
me. Absolutely. Likewise, bro.
Most definitely. And today is a very great day because we're going to be talking about everything and all things real estate investing. I'm super excited to get into this episode. But before we do that, take a second, take a minute, take an hour out of your day right here, right now. If you haven't already, just go ahead, slap that like button, show this video and this episode some love. But without further ado, let's get it rocking and rolling, my guy.
Let's go, bro.
How are you?
I can't complain, man. First time here in Brooklyn.
Got you. How's it feel?
I'm driving down like this, literally different from Philly.
Is it
Like,
really?
Yeah, super different.
Got you. And this is your first official time.
In Brooklyn. I probably only been in New York. I can count on one hand.
You got to get out the crate. You working too hard. Let's start there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
every day.
Bro,
Like,
you only like how the drive is like what, like an hour and some change away, a
like
little bit
an
away?
hour and 40 minutes.
Philly Bull.
Yeah.
There you go.
Young bull.
Young bull, man. You got to.
Yep.
You know, I'm happy to have you here. Happy that you're having a great experience so far, and more importantly, I'm just happy to have you on the show, man.
Appreciate it.
I've been following you for some time. I've been seeing the things that you're doing. Hardest worker out of Philly, man. Hardest. You know, I'm not gonna lie to you, We're gonna get into who you are, of course, in a second,
Right.
but I done spoke to some, how y'all call it, bulls?
Yeah,
I just spoke to some bulls in Philly, and they told me, hey, man, I'm speaking to some of these real estate investors. I'm like, yo, how's the game going? They're like, yo, it's terrible. I'm like, why? They said, because Newt buying up everything. That's what they told me.
Listen, man, I know for sure. I got a goal in mind. I'm just
working?
I'm working at it. You know,
Newt, I'm trying to tell you, I've spoke to some bankers over there. I'm like, how's everything going? They said, listen, man, Newt making so much money now. We don't even open up unless we know he coming. That's what they said.
I tell people like this: when you come to Philly, you know who to call. You want to see some
Come
properties.
on, man. I love it.
You know who to call.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. And of course, we're going to get into all of that right now. But, let's get this thing rocking and rolling. For those, of course, who are watching this, who don't know who you are, talk a little bit about who you are, where you're from, what you do, and, of course, the most important thing, how you got your start.
Yep. So as you mentioned, I go by Newt the Entrepreneur, a.k.a. Cornelius Middleton. Born and raised in Philly. A little bit about myself. I got a bachelor's degree in construction management from Morgan State University. Shout out to anybody that went to HBCU.
Let's go.
Although Morgan State is the best university ever.
Okay.
So I got a bachelor's degree from there. And then I got a master's degree in engineering from a PWI, predominant white institution at Rowan University.
Gotcha.
Went there for 2 years, got my master's degree. And shortly after that, I got into the field, corporate America. I was working at a firm. I won't say their name.
Okay.
A great firm.
Okay.
I was making $103,000 a year at 24 years old, 23 and a half, 24 years old, basically. Quit that job in the middle of the pandemic, which everybody thought was like the craziest thing. Even myself, I thought was crazy.
Right.
But I resigned and got into full-time investing. Right after that, after the investing started, I kind of stayed there, to be honest. And you know what I mean, one of four children. You know what I mean, the second oldest. I got an older sister, first gen ed college student. And yeah, man, just born and raised Philly.
There you go. Got you. So there's a couple things to unpack there. First and foremost, being a young 20-something-year-old, working a six-figure job, going into something that none of us had ever seen before. Yeah, man, if I was your friend, too, at that time, I would have been looking at you a little sideways, like, yo, what's going on?
Yeah.
So, I mean, what was, number one, why? And number two, you talked about transitioning from that job to now going full-time into investing. So why leave the job? More importantly, why leave the job to become a real estate investor? What was it about real estate that you was like, all right, that's the next step?
My time.
Okay.
My time. I tell people like, so let's just unpack this for a little bit, right?
Talk to me.
So I was only being compensated for 40 hours a week, which most of us are, right? We work 40 hours and really no overtime.
Right.
But I was driving 2 hours to Jersey from Philly, working 8 hours, and then driving 2 hours back. So 8 plus 2 is 12. 12 times 5 days a week, that's 60 hours, but I'm only being compensated for 40.
Boom. Okay.
Right? So that's just enough said right there, right?
Right.
So like my question to you is, will you work an additional 20 hours and won't be compensated? Most people would say no, right? And technically that's what I was doing, although I was spending that time in the car. And then I also, so that's thing one. And then thing two was I was making someone else more successful than I was making myself. You know what I mean? And I don't have a problem with giving because that's what it's about. It's about the give back. But I knew if I can do it for somebody else, I can do it for myself.
100%.
Yep.
Okay. So, I mean, that's powerful right there, right? But then still, you know, we live in a social media age where it seems like there's so many different ways to make money now, right? Cryptocurrency, Airbnb, Turo,
Yeah.
NFT this, credit repair that.
Yeah.
Of all of these different fields, you felt the best one for you to take that next step into was becoming a real estate investor,
Yeah.
especially at such a young age,
Yeah.
right? What was it about is it for you? Was it the idea of, you know, we hear all this talk about like generational wealth,
Yeah.
was it that? Was it more so just a passion that you had in it beforehand that led you to it? Why real estate?
So I did have a passion for it, but I didn't know anyone that did it, right?
Okay.
I took a class. It was a prerequisite in order to graduate. So basically, I had to take it in order to graduate.
Gotcha.
Shout out to my homie Darius. He told me straight up. We took a class in Morgan. He said, "Oh, this information like common sense, the real
Okay.
estate." So I'm like, you know what? It is common sense.
Right.
First exam, we flunk it. So I said, you know what? That it may not be so common, right?
Right.
So I had to start studying. But after that, my teacher, she told me straight up, like she was showing like HUDs, which is like a settlement sheet showing everything that you purchased. She was showing HUDs and showing property that she bought over the last 10, 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
And she like, I'm only working just because I have a passion for working.
Mm-hmm.
But real estate set me up. So I'm like, you know what? I got to get into some real estate. So I did that. And my biggest thing is this, right? I want to be able to do something one time
Mm-hmm.
and get paid for it over and over and over. Just like an ebook, right? You said ebook is so many different ways to make money. So if I make an ebook, that thing is going to probably outlive me, just like this podcast, right? People going to keep watching this over and over and years down the line, right? Hopefully. So the goal is for me to do something one time, but still get compensated for it later down the end.
Right.
You know what I mean? Whether I'm still here or not here. So that was the goal for me.
100%. And
Yeah.
you know, what better way to do that than, I mean, one of the greatest wealth building fields out there, real estate,
Yeah,
right?
The number one.
The number one.
The number one. Remember that.
There you go.
The
I
number
think
one.
Doug Depp, shout out to Doug Depp, also
Yep.
another Philly bull,
Yeah,
right? He calls it the number one subscription-based business in the world.
Yeah.
And that's fact.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
you
saying?
literally and when he says that, I echo that. You know what I mean? 10 times. You know what I mean? And because like we're in the building now, I'm driving down Brooklyn, like I'm seeing people, I'm seeing all the different brownstones, and I'm like, yo, only if I can have just one of these, right? I just know what it means, right? And then to be able to go through that process, and I'm sure we'll get into it, of getting it fixed up, getting it rented out, and doing all these great things. It's like I did that one time. You know what I mean? Like literally, you probably at the first you got to pay your cell phone bill every month.
Yep.
Every single month. Most of you all probably paying your cell phone bill right now, right? Hopefully, right? Right? Paying your Wi-Fi, paying your Netflix, paying your Hulu. So instead of me getting those things, I say, you know what? Let me just channel that. You're gonna be in real estate one way or another, whether you get money or you paying money. It's that simple, right? And once I knew that, once I realized that, I said, game on.
There you go. And then from there, you was like, man, we diving all into this.
Yeah,
thing.
let's get to 100 doors.
Let's get it. All right. Well,
Yeah.
so now hold on. How old were you when you first started your real estate journey?
I was 23.
And
23.
You
Yeah.
were 23 when you started.
Yep.
You just turned 27, I think you told me, right?
Yeah, like 2 weeks ago.
So 4 years full-time real estate investor.
No. 2 years full-time
Okay.
real estate investor.
Gotcha.
The 2 years before that, I was kind of dibbling, dabbling, learning. You know what I mean? And tried to get into real estate, but I had probably the worst experience of it all.
We're going to get into that. We're going to get into that. So 2 years dibbling, dabbling, 2 years full on, like this is, I eat, sleep, and breathe this,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And how many, if you don't mind me asking,
Yeah.
because, you know, I want to make sure that people understand we don't just bring on anybody.
Yeah.
You understand, on the Marvin Francois show.
Yeah,
we bring
yeah.
on the truth.
Yeah.
You understand? How many doors we got right now?
Listen, I'm gonna say not enough, but got 70 plus doors.
70 plus doors.
70 plus doors.
70 plus doors, man.
Yeah.
You about to get me excited, brother.
Yeah.
This is gonna be one of them ones. Okay. And everything is mainly out of 100% in Philly, correct?
Yeah, 100% in Philly and North Philly to be specific, right?
Got you.
And there's gold in the hood. Everybody want to go to those other surrounding areas where it's like already solidified. Like they can go there and see money. Like, oh wow, like look at that. You know what I mean? People jogging, people picking up their dogs' crap. You know,
Right.
Like things like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So when that stuff started to happen, people want to kind of gravitate to that neighborhood and leave the stuff that we always knew to be home away. And now I'm going there and saying, you know what? I got something for y'all.
Boom.
Let's get it.
70 plus doors later, y'all still rocking and rolling.
Yeah,
And
North-
counting.
And North Philly.
Hey man, let's dive a little bit deeper into that, right? 2 years full on into real estate. Yeah, 70 doors now and counting. It didn't start off that way. It you know, like you said, them first 2 years there was a lot of dibbling and dabbling. You just learning, figuring it out, probably taking your lumps, probably, you know, going through that learning curve of really fully ingratiating yourself in this new journey.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's start from the beginning and really break this thing down, because I really want this interview to be a masterclass for anybody else who's maybe on the fence about getting into real estate. Maybe they're in real estate, but they're getting a little bit discouraged. Maybe they're, maybe they got a couple doors and they're trying to figure out, there's a missing piece that maybe you can help provide them based on what your journey was from start to where you are now. So let's walk through that. Let's go back to your first real estate deal ever.
Okay.
Talk to me a little bit about that deal. If you remember the details of it, the numbers, the whole experience altogether. Was it a fix and flip? Was it a buy and hold? Talk about some of the numbers that, were a part of that deal, some of the experiences that came with the deal, the good, the bad.
The bad.
And the ugly, if there is.
The bad.
Talk to me.
I don't think it was no good in that, but you'll let me know. Let me know if it was any good to it, right?
Let's go.
So March 29th, 2020. That was my first time going to closing for a property. March 29th, 2020. If you know anything about what we just went through or what we're currently coming out of, that pandemic, right? Right before then, Kobe Bryant had passed. Rest in peace, Kobe, right?
Rest in peace.
So that was January, right? January, February. Then we start hearing this thing called COVID, and you stay away from me, right? But we didn't have to wear no mask, right? So I went to closing, and we were still in close quarters, but they were still trying to keep their distance. A week later, everything shut down. A week later, you can just do your math, right? March 29th, 2020, I bought my first property. A week later, the world shut down. Home Depot, Lowe's, like I can't get no material.
Right.
No one wants to work, right? So it's like people, you can't even look at somebody without saying, yo, we got COVID. Like, you know what I mean? It was just one of those things. So it was like literally seemed like the worst time to get in at that moment. But we'll talk about that later on, how I wasn't.
Let's go.
But needless to say, that very first deal taught me so much, right? I couldn't get nobody to work. I couldn't get no material. Stores was closing early. They was only letting certain people in at a time, and only a certain amount of people in at a time, and you had to wait long lines. It was like the craziest thing ever. Literally going through that process, it took me a year to get that first project done. I bought the property for about $56,000. I used something called a hard money loan.
Gotcha.
So I already had some money saved up, but most people don't, so you can do that with credit, and we'll talk about that, right? So I did have some money saved up, but I used part of my credit, part of my money to get this deal. I bought it for, let's just call it $60K. My goal was to put about 100 into it. So I was going to be all in 160K. That 100 turned into like 160, 170, 180. Because I just had to, I tell people like this, if you got to do something twice, that means you did it wrong the first time. Right? So I was doing every phase twice.
Okay.
Every phase. So I'm just thinking it's a part of the game.
When you say every phase twice, what do you mean by that?
I was demoing twice. I was doing my framing twice because the first time I did it was bad.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? And then I would get some eyes on they like, yo, you're supposed to put the door here. You need a header here. Yo, you need a lintel here. I'm like, what the heck is all this? But I just did real estate investing or educating myself for 2 years prior. So I thought I had the game figured out. Little did I know, right? So I'm supposed to be all in like 160, but I wound up being all in like an extra 40, 50, maybe even $70,000 out of my pocket, right? That was all my money. I literally wiped my bank account clean, wiped my savings clean. Every check that I was getting from that six-figure job was, if I got paid on Friday, I literally was taking out $200-300, pay my car payment, and the rest was going to the property. Like I would be broke into the next paycheck, but people didn't know that, and I'm making $103,000 a year, right? So literally, the only thing that saved me during that project is that once the property got done, I anticipated it to appraise for $335. It wound up appraising for like $400,000. So it was just so happened that appraisal came back higher, and I was able to recoup some of those losses, right? But needless to say, I learned so much on that process. It was ridiculous.
Got you. Man, that's, first off, when being a young 20-something-year-old and seeing the world shut down like that, that was a new experience for everybody. What were you even, what was going through your mind when COVID first hit? You got this new building, everything is closed. Were you nervous? Were you concerned? Were you stressed? Or you just like, all right, let's just wait this out? Like, what was the mental aspect of that at the time?
I really didn't know how big the COVID thing was going to get at that time.
Okay.
So I was just like, oh, it's gonna boil over. Like, it's gonna be 2 weeks.
Little did you know.
Little did I know, right? It lasted for 18 months, right? It took me 12 months to get out of that project. Like, it was just like the biggest nightmare, but I wasn't asleep. You know what I mean? That's how I can explain it. And I was going through, and one of the biggest things, and I'll tell you about this, but the contractor that I had literally screwed me, literally. Like, and when I mean, if I see him today,
it's lights out.
Yeah.
Oh, you going to sleep.
Yeah.
So okay, well now
yeah.
let's get a little bit more into that,
Yeah.
right? Because remember, this is your first deal.
Absolutely.
You're not true to this yet. You're still new to this.
Exactly.
What happened there with the contractor? Because I'm sure that's something that, once again, this being your first deal, your first anything, you're going to take some type of L. If you're not, you're probably not doing it right.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
What happened there?
So he came and gave me a quote, and he was coming to give me a quote for one thing, but notice I needed that thing done as well. So he's like, I can do this, I can do that, I can do this, I can do that. So I said, you know what, though, give me a number for all these things, but I'm going to also get quotes from other people.
Mm-hmm.
His number beat everybody's number.
Mm-hmm.
So naturally, I'm going with the cheapest person.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you something. If they give you the best number, that's not the best contractor.
There you go.
That, right? I never go with the cheapest person ever since that first experiences back in 2020.
Right.
But I was literally paying this man a couple hundred, maybe $1,000 every Friday,
Mm-hmm.
right, for the stuff that he was doing, not knowing if it was done right. I'm just seeing wire being ran, like, okay, my electric being done.
Mm-hmm.
He don't got my stuff grounded. It was just a nightmare. He running my plumbing, my lines is leaking. He's not doing an air test or water test. Like it's so many things I'm not doing that he was supposed to be doing. I didn't know, right? I just thought, okay, he was gonna give me his word and get it done right. I was paying this man. I wouldn't see him I'd pay him on Friday. I wouldn't see him till Thursday. You know what I mean? And then he'd do some stuff on Thursday and expect to check on Friday. But rightfully so, he did do something. So I'm like, I felt like I had to pay him. And that got me into a big jam.
Gotcha. And that was we talked about the good, man. That's the ugly, right?
Yeah.
Was there any other parts of that first deal? I mean, obviously, like you said, you're new, so you were talking about doing everything twice.
Yeah.
You were talking about that contract that I got you in the gym.
Yeah.
Was there any other parts of that deal that also where you took some bumps, or was it really just those two things?
It was really just those two things, and I blame myself. I ain't have enough education.
Okay.
I should have been during that time. I was taking what I learned and putting it to use, and I didn't learn enough. You know what I mean? So I cheated myself.
Okay.
I cheated myself. Like if I would have had more experience and more education, I probably could have avoided 65, 70% of the things that occurred. But because I didn't have that education that I now have, oh man, lights out.
Got you.
Lights out.
Got you. Man, you said a lot there, man.
Yeah.
That's and you still have this property to this day.
That thing cash flowing.
Oh, it's really?
Yeah. So that's the flip side of it.
Right.
So it was a nightmare. It appraised for $70,000 higher.
Right.
Hear me out. $70K higher than what I was anticipating. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I technically got all my money back on the back end, and then now the property cash flowing about $1,500 every first of the month. Right. So it's a duplex.
Right.
The first floor rents for 15. The second floor rents for 12. That's 27. My mortgage is about 12. You know what I mean? So, and that's with the water bill and PITI, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance.
We're gonna get into
You
that.
know what I mean? Yeah. So you gotta know these things, right?
Right.
But I'm cashing about 15 a month. That's a good pocket.
Oh, that's
money.
beautiful.
Yeah. Listen, you talk to some investors, they getting $300 a door.
Right.
I'm getting $750 a door if you think about it in that manner. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm definitely cash flowing. Definitely made my numbers make sense on the backside.
Got you. But like like you said, people may see that part, but they wasn't. You were there for the beginning part. But they may see it now and be like, oh, okay, Newt's running up and down Philly buying all these doors. But you had to go through those lumps. You had to go through those bumps, the bruises, the learning curves to get to a point now. But more importantly, you had to stick with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people that probably would have went through what you went through and be like, man, this real estate thing is a scam. I would have been getting out of here. I want to, man, let me go try something else.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But what was it about that first experience for you that, you made it through?
Yeah.
What was it for you that made you go like, all right, I took some bumps here, but I'm gonna keep rocking with this thing. We're gonna give it another try again.
So what it was for me was that I seen other people on social media doing it and showing success.
Gotcha.
So I'm like, no, I know I can do that.
Okay.
Like if they can do it, I can too.
Gotcha.
It wasn't a competition thing, but it was the fact that I knew that person was doing it, and I didn't know that person at all. So I'm like, if they showing they got properties and they taking free vacations and they driving nice cars,
right?
I'm like, yo, I could do the same thing. Like,
right.
I know they can't be that much smarter than me. You know what I mean? And from that moment on, I just kept going. You know what I mean? I just kept going, and here it is. You talking about 2 years later? 2 years later, two and a half years later. I mean, we like the top guns. You know what I mean? We the top young guns.
Top,
you know what I mean? Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Doing what you gotta do.
But I just kept pushing, and I think a lot of people would have turned around. A lot of people would have said, you know what, it didn't work out. And I tell my mentees today, I want to get you off to a fast start because that start the momentum and that start the confidence building.
Mhm.
Because if you get into something and it don't go as planned, 95% of the time you're going to look and say, you know what, I should have did it anyway.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And that's a bad way to go into things. You know what I mean? So I want all my mentees, and just even if you're not a mentee, I want you to get off to a fast start and then get out the gates and then obviously hit your bumps. But if you're hitting your bumps in the beginning, you may turn around and say, no, I'll see y'all later.
There you go. Got you. Man, that's something. But so now let's get a little bit more into that, right? Documenting that first experience of getting your first property.
Yeah.
Once again, I want to make sure that this episode speaks to somebody that's either trying to get into real estate or is a new investor still figuring it out, right? Let's talk a little bit about the process of finding a deal.
Oh,
I'm not in real estate. You're in real estate. See, he's rubbing his hand like Birdman. It's about to get spicy.
Absolutely.
This is about to get spicy.
Absolutely.
I want to get into that because like I said, I'm not in it, but I speak to a couple different investors, and the number one thing I keep hearing is, the biggest thing is finding the deal, right? Some investors say, other investors overcomplicated. It's not that tough. Other investors say, like, man, you got to be up at 4:00 in the morning. You got to be on Craigslist this and on Facebook groups that, all these different things. Let's talk a little bit about that. If I'm a new investor, like I said, I'm either trying to get in real estate or I've been in real estate and, math ain't mathing.
Yeah.
What does that process look like? How can I go about finding my first, whether it's a single family, duplex, triplex, whatever it may be? What does that process look like?
So in today's society, right now in 2022, all you got to do is look on the market.
Okay.
That's all you got to do, right? But I know that's not the case, and that won't always be the case, and that wasn't the case. So what I used to do and still do, I'm off market soliciting.
Okay.
Off market soliciting. So pretty much what I'm doing, I'm finding distressed properties.
Okay.
Right? That's maybe, I don't even know if it's for selling now. I just know, whoa, we got a lot of pizza menus in the door. That means no one haven't been here in some time, right? Wow, the grass is high and it's a bunch of trash. Even if somebody's living there, they don't really care about it too much. So let me go ahead and try to do what? Reach out to that homeowner. I'm gonna drop a little nugget, right?
Talk to me.
True People Search. There's a lot of skip tracing sites out here. There's a lot of them. True People Search is a free platform. It costs $0, right? I can pull up your information right now. Address, name, number, relatives, mom, dad. You like, yo, like, how you just get me like in seconds?
Right.
So True People Search is an easy way to skip trace somebody. No, it don't do it in mass. You can't skip trace 100 people at once, like the other sites, how they advertise you. But this company right here, you can do one at a time. I was literally finding distressed properties. Oh, they got a lot of trash, a lot of high weeds and all that. Okay, what's the address? Punching the address in, finding a homeowner through True People Search and calling them. I literally called someone. I had a live class. I literally called that person. I found a property online. I just Googled a block. I went through the Google map. That house looked abandoned. Picked up the address. True People Search in front of hundreds of people and called them. They said he's willing to sell it. That's simple.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, and yes, there's some other things in there. You got to know how to negotiate and script and things like that. And you don't know how much you got to offer. But just the needless to say how to find properties. Oh man.
Oh, so got you.
It's not that hard.
So one of the ones that you mentioned was True People Search. Now, is that for you? Is that the number one creme de la creme in terms of, hey, if you're trying to find a property, ain't no better place than here, or are there some other streams that you would recommend as well?
Some other streams. I like the sheriff cell. You know what I mean? Well,
hold on. Say that again and say it. The sheriff cell.
Sheriff cell. So
spell that.
So SHERIFF.
Cell.
Yeah, sheriff cell. So before that used to be in person. So here's the crazy thing about it, right? The sheriff cell are properties that people, there's a bunch of different types of sheriff cells. So me, I go off of tax delinquencies. Okay. So I'm looking for properties because, you never really own your property, right? You may have bought it, but you still got to pay your property taxes. Right. And if you don't pay your property taxes, the city or that municipality can take that property back. I'm literally looking for people who's behind in their property taxes, whether they own the building or don't own the building, and literally saying, hey, you owe $50,000, $60,000. What you want to do? Your property is getting ready to go up to pre-sheriff sale. So I'm not getting them at the sheriff sale because at that point, the city has already taken the property from the individual. I don't want it at that point because there's a lot of dogs, a lot of vultures. I don't have enough money to compete with the top investors, right? So I can't get it at the sheriff sale. I have to get it prior to the sheriff sale. So while you still own it, but you getting those letters in your door saying, hey, you better make a payment to us by the 1st. If not, it's going up for sheriff sale. I'm contacting you when you got your 3rd letter, when you got your 5th letter, when you got your 7th letter, because you need to get about 50 letters before they really take it from you, right?
Gotcha.
So I'm contacting you like, yo, what we doing? I know you've been getting those letters, and you behind at 50,000. What are we looking like?
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'm coming with cash. You know what I mean? And you don't have to fix this place up. So that right there in itself, You don't even know. I probably closed about 7 deals like that. Pre-sheriff sale. Pre-sheriff sale. So all you gotta do is find tax delinquencies, find out who own it, get in touch
And
with them.
the share is that's a website, correct?
So it is a website now because of the pandemic.
Got
Well,
you.
every state, every city has their own sheriff cell. So how it is in Philly, it used to be at this particular location, but because pandemic, everything got shut down. Now it's all online, but even then it's tough. You know what I mean? People just blind bidding, people just running the numbers up. They don't really want the property. So you may really want property A, and you really don't want property A, but you just want me to spend more. You know what I mean? So you saying, hey, I want 70,000 for it, but now I got to bid 73. When it's not really worth that.
Right.
So that's pretty much that. But that's an easy way to get some properties.
Come on,
That's
man.
the easy way.
Oh, you ain't coming to play.
Yeah, not at all.
Oh, okay, got you. So we got True People Search. We got Sheriff Cell. There's one other one I've heard about, but it's paid. I think he has a prop stream. Is that a good one too?
So the thing about prop stream, you can pull a bunch of lists at one time. You can pull vacancies. You can pull people who have high equity, meaning they've been in these properties for years. So I like prop stream a lot. But here's the thing: you heard about it, right?
No, I didn't.
So prop stream, it's a really it came out and it got off to like a super fast start. Everybody signed up for it. It costs $100 a month, but now everybody's on it. Everybody's on it. So now it's like heavily trafficked. I don't want to be in those areas because it's more competition. I'm not looking to compete with the same type of individuals who going for those same type of properties. Let me go to an external source where nobody's focusing at and say, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and grab these ones. Because those are the leftover, spilt ones. Those ones, they don't make sense because everybody want to be here. But now I'm making millions on this side while everybody chasing the same properties.
Same properties
same
here.
thing. So,
Got you.
You know what I mean? So that's why Prop Stream is good. Shout out to Prop Stream. But I don't use them too much.
Got you.
Not at all.
Another thing I've heard, once again, going back to another Philly bull.
Yeah.
Doug Depp, he talks about, for those who know, he's also a real estate investor out of Philly. He's also talked about, man, he'll be on like Craigslist at like 5 o'clock in the morning looking at properties. Is that also a viable option, or is that kind of just, he's on his own? Yeah,
he's on his own wave. I have never done so.
Okay.
And I'm sure there's properties on there and on Facebook Marketplace. Like that's just not my forte. I got a lot of properties coming to me in other forms. You know what I mean? So I haven't used those things, but if they work, definitely exert those things.
Got you.
Yeah.
All right. So now you gave us 2 good gems, right? We got Sheriff Cell, we got True People Search.
Yeah.
We listening to the Newt the Entrepreneur interview. We take the gem, we run with it. We find a property that looks good, right?
Yeah.
But there's still so many steps ahead of us before we can really start getting this thing rocking and rolling. Finding a good deal.
Yeah.
It's not just about finding a deal. It's about finding a good deal, right? And there are some numbers that go into that. If I'm a new real estate investor and I'm looking to find a good deal, what does a good deal look like? What does a bad deal look like? How am I able to kind of differentiate between the two to make sure I'm not putting myself in a hole buying something I shouldn't buy?
Simple. It's this thing called the 65% rule.
Talk to me.
So what the 65% rule is this, right? Let's say you're trying to buy this property right here. You want to find something called your comparables, your comps. So if your property is right here, you want to find the 3 highest sold properties in the same square footage, right? Plus or minus 200 square feet. So if your house is 1,200 square feet, you can compare it to a house that's 1,000 square feet or 1,400 square feet because it's plus or minus 200. So you want to compare apples to apples. So once you find your comparable sales, you want to find the 3 highest ones and you want to get the average. So let's say the average is 200,000.
Gotcha.
You need to be able to buy your property for 65% of 200,000, right? Call it 70% max, right? 70% of 200,000 is 140, right? So you need to be able to buy your property and fix your property up for 140,000. And if you can't, that's not a good deal.
Just that simple.
Just that simple. So some people 65% rule, but the market has swayed. The market has swayed. So some deals I'm at the 50% rule. Some other deals I'm at the 70% rule. So it's not just one. I don't want you to think that it's just 65. If it don't meet the 65% rule, it's not a good deal. No, you do have some wiggle room there because you may not meet the 65% rule, but you're gonna get a bunch of cash flow on the back end.
Right.
You need to be able to run those numbers on the back end. Most people just stop here and say, I don't want the deal. And that's when I swoop in and say, you know what? Let me get it.
Let's go, slide through and make it happen.
Absolutely. So
Got you. Okay. The 65% rule.
65% rule.
I hear a three-lettered acronym when it comes to doing the numbers called ARV. Talk a little bit about that.
All right, so your ARV, your after repair value. That's my baby right there. Like I'm getting ready to change my middle name to ARV. Right?
Okay.
Like that's what I care about right now, especially in today's market, right? So the ARV is what is the value that your property is going to be worth after you force the value. After you force the value. So you buy a distressed property for $50K and you put 50,000 into it.
Mhm.
You all in 100,000 for the whole because you
Mhm.
bought it for 50, you rehabbed it for 50.
Mhm.
Now you all in debt for 100, but it's not worth 100. It might be worth 200, right? So you buy it for 50, you put 50 into it, you in the hole for 100. Now you go ahead and get it appraised. Now it comes at 200.
Mm.
Now you go ahead and cash out at 80% of 200 is 160K.
Mm.
You take the 160, pay back the 100, and you walk with 60,000 tax-free money.
Wait, say that last part
yeah.
again. Hold on.
Listen, hold on.
Say it again, but say it slow, brother. I want to make sure they heard you. Say
Listen.
that again.
You taking that 65,000
Okay.
after you pay your debt off,
Mhm.
you taking that and you going ahead and that's tax-free money.
Gotcha.
Tax-free. Like Uncle Sam can't get none of that.
Not at all.
Not a penny.
Not a quarter.
Not a quarter.
Not a nickel.
Not a nickel. Listen.
Maybe a dime.
No, not even that.
Goodness
you know what
gracious.
I mean? So
Okay.
just that alone, but that ARV, that's what your property is worth
Mhm.
once it's all stabilized, once
Gotcha.
it's beautified, once you force the value.
Mhm.
And sometimes you can shout out to my guy Calvin Cannon Jr. He buy turnkeys, so he's buying properties that's already ready to go, but he's buying them at a discount. So essentially, he's buying money.
Mm-hmm.
He's literally saying, all right, how much? All right, 50. I'm gonna give you 50, but then 2 weeks later he getting 100 because he's buying a property ready to go.
Mhm.
Me, I'm forcing my value, so I gotta wait a little bit longer. But now I get it. I put 50 in, but I'm getting out 200. You know what I mean? So it's like it's a different strategy, but they both work. You know what I mean? So just knowing that ARV is after repair value. So you gotta either put some work into it or buy a property significantly discounted in order to have that equity in there to be able to have that value at where you want it to be. Yeah, it's crazy, man. That real estate thing is it's a beast.
Let me tell you something. You drop one more gem, I slap this mic
Listen,
down
I ain't
right
come
now.
out to Brooklyn for no reason.
You drop one more gem, I'll flip this whole table.
Listen,
you better stop playing.
Listen, you better get ready then.
Come on, man. Let's go. That's huge.
Yeah.
Okay. And we just getting started. Okay, let's take the next step then, right?
Yeah.
We found the deal.
Yeah.
We know what's a good deal versus a bad deal.
Yep.
We found something that makes sense for us. We're ready to jump on it. But remember, we're a new real estate investor,
Yeah,
right? We don't got money to play with like that, right?
Mhm.
So we need the financing in order to lock this deal down so we can make this property our own. So let's talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah.
Earlier on, you made mention of hard money loan, hard money lender, things of that nature. I've heard so many different things when it comes to the process of financing a property. If I'm a brand new, spanking new real estate investor, I don't know nothing about nothing, wet behind the ears, breath smelling like Similac. I'm figuring this thing out.
Yeah.
How can I go about financing a good deal that I found, whether it's through, Sheriff Sell or True Peoples or whatever it may be? I got the deal. How can I go about securing financing to lock that deal down?
So hard money is like 95% of the time going to be an outlet when you're a new investor because you don't have no experience, right?
What is hard money for those who don't know?
Hard money is pretty much a company or agency or individual that got money. That would be more like a private lender, but basically a firm that's going to back you for your real estate investment deal.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? But you're going to pay a lot in fees. That's why it's hard money. You know what
Gotcha.
I mean? So it's going to hit you hard because the fees are really expensive. You know what I mean? So you're talking about 10, 12, 14% sometimes on your interest rate, which is extremely high, especially for 2 years ago. Right now, all right, cool, not too much because rates is high.
Right.
But 2 years ago, 10, 12% was like ridiculous.
Gotcha.
Right now, it's more a little common. But so what you want to do is you want to find a good hard money lender. I started out with a hard money lender. They not really around anymore. What they just trying to rebrand it.
Gotcha.
But a hard money lender, they pretty much lend anywhere. One of the good ones that I like is Haus Lending. That's HAUS Lending.
And
House. They pronounce house.
They find it doesn't matter. I don't have to be in Philly to get.
No, that's the thing. You could be anywhere.
Say their name again, but say it.
Haus Lending.
Okay.
HAUS Lending.
Got you.
Haus Lending. That's one of my preferred lenders.
Got you.
One of my preferred lenders. I use them all the time. And now I'm only putting down 7 to 10%.
Okay.
So when I first started out, they was making me put down 20%. So if I was buying a property for 50, 20% of 50 is 10K. I would have to bring 10K to the table. Now if I buy a property for 50,000, they like, listen, just bring us about $7,500. Bring us 5K. You know what I mean? Because I've been build that relationship.
Right.
Just like with anything. So Haus Lending, that's the first one. So once you get a hard money lender, you want to solidify your deal. You want to have something called an agreement to sell. You need to be able to prove to them that you're about to buy something. And how that hard money lender is going to work, you're going to have anywhere between 6 to 18 months to be able to fix that property up. They're going to lend you that money. They're going to give you most times they're going to give you 90% of the purchase price and 100% of the rehab. So now you don't got to front none of the money for your rehab. All you bringing is 10% of that purchase price, or maybe 20 or maybe 15% of the purchase price. The rehab portion, they're going to give you all of that money. Not up front, though. It's going to come in forms of a draw. So they're going to have it in escrow.
Okay.
So it's going to be a separate account, and you have to kind of get that money out. You got to demo, then request your demo money. You got to frame, then request your framing money. You got to do that, right? But I'll show you how to kind of work around that, right? But the best part about this hard money lender, you don't got to bring all your money. You just got to bring a portion. And then where you get that other portion from, that's the key.
Come on, man.
That's
Come
the key.
on. I told you about these gems, brother.
That's the key.
Okay. So now let's break down the hard money play a little bit more, right?
Yeah.
There's something that you mentioned it, but you didn't say the exact term that I know for it. There's something when it comes to getting a hard money loan. Like I said, I'm not a real estate investor, but I know a little Sean.
Yeah.
Points, the point system. What's that about? Talk to me about that.
Points is pretty much the fees that your lender is going to charge you in order to do the deal.
Got you.
That's just like origination fees.
Okay.
So like, hey, in order for you to even start this process, I need 2 points. So that's just 2% of your loan. So if your loan was 100,000, 2% of that, you know what I mean? So it's literally just origination points. That's really what it is. The cost of doing business.
Got you.
We call that having some skin in the game.
Having some skin in the game.
You know what I mean? That's pretty much what that is.
Got you. And then you also made mention of, draws, right?
Yeah.
So from what I understand, whenever you're, and correct me if I'm wrong, when it comes to working with a hard money lender, to start out, I think you use some of your money, your money first, and then they give you you get a draw once like an inspector comes.
Exactly.
They make sure whatever that phase of work is done.
Let me stop you right there.
Correct me.
Let me stop you right
Teach
there.
me.
Yeah. That's what we're here for.
Talk to me.
So you don't have to use your money.
Okay.
All right. So prime example. Remember, if I say you got to bring 10% to the table, so the lender's going to fund 90% of the purchase price and then 100% of the rehab. But now you're on the hook for the other 10% of the purchase price. Let's call it $7,500. You tap Mac. You don't got no money. You pop. You don't have not a dollar to your name.
Right.
But your credit good. Good. 680.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
You can go ahead and get finances from a bank and come with that down payment. And so you could take the bank's money and pair it with the hard money lender money, and then you got a deal.
You talking spicy.
You never brought none of your money to the table.
I'm about to jump.
You know what I mean? You never brought none of your money to the table. So here it is. You borrowed from the bank and gave money to the hard money lender, and now you got that property. So you in a game from nothing, just from experience and leverage, right? So now once we doing that, we go ahead and run this whole process. Everything just say it goes seamless, right? We get to our finish line. Now we go ahead and pay everybody back, and now you got a property. You ain't bring no money to the table.
Not a dollar.
Not a dollar. Just leverage. Leveraging relationships. Hey, Chase, let me get $1. Or let me get 5,000 of those dollars. Hey, listen, I'm gonna get that money to the hard money lender, which is house lending. Give house lending the $5K that you on the hook for, and then they're gonna pair that $5K with the rest of the money, all because you said I got a deal that I want to buy. That's it.
Listen,
so you don't got to use your money.
House. I hope you got an affiliate with House, because you about to send them about a lot of business.
Listen,
right now.
I don't. You know what I mean? But that's how I am. I want to just see people win.
Hey, House, if you watching this, pay the brother, man.
Yeah, no doubt.
Hey,
hit me up, y'all.
Hey, listen. Wow. Okay, great. Okay, but now you also mentioned another thing too, and I actually wanted to get into that next, right?
Yeah.
You talked a lot about hard money lending, but we want to exhaust every option possible, because I don't want anyone to walk away from this interview, this sit down, and say like, man, I still don't know what to do.
Right.
I want you to be able to provide every resource, every option, every avenue that a real estate investor could take, to where they're like, all right, well, I don't want to do hard money lending, but Duke the Entrepreneur gave you like 6, 7, 8 other ways for you to finance a deal.
Right.
One of those other ways you actually just touched on, right? And I hear a lot of people talk about it. I've even heard you talk about this, using the banks, right? I've heard a lot of talk about, using business credit and things of that nature to finance the purchasing of these properties. Well, are you still doing that now?
Yes, but I'm always still leveraging that money to get more money.
Okay.
All right. So I'm constantly leveraging.
Okay.
So I never bought a property outright.
Not really.
Never.
Not you. Okay.
Never. Like as many properties as I bought, it don't make sense.
Okay.
They don't make sense. Some people can argue me down why it makes sense. And I'm not here to argue with nobody. I'm here to shine light on what I'm doing or what I know to work, right? So what I'm doing is I'm just taking that bank's money and I'm pairing it with another lender. Now, here's the thing. You don't got to go to a hard money lender. You can go to a private money lender.
Talk about that. Hold on. Hold on.
Yeah.
Let me sit up. Bro.
Yeah.
I ain't mean to disrespect you, but let me sit up. Go ahead. Talk.
So this what we talking about, right? Yo, Marvin. I killed the podcast, man. Thanks for having me. But listen, man, you got 50,000. I mean, I'm in need right now. You got 50,000 trying to buy this property. Your property's your money's going to be backed by that property. So if I default on this property, you can take ownership. You know what, Newt? You're a good dude. I got you, bro. Let me write this check out. So you go ahead and write me a check out. You're just a separate individual. You're not a whole corporation. Well, you are, but just individual. I'm coming to you as a man to man and saying, yo, can I borrow 50,000? You say, yeah, I'm gonna let you borrow 50,000. I say, Martin, when you need it back. You say, Newt, you know what? You're a good dude. I normally want my money back in 9 months, but because we solid, I'm gonna give you 12 months to pay me back. I'm like this. Yes. Right? So you let me borrow the money. You let me borrow your 50,000 for 12 months. I'm going to take your 50,000 and I'm gonna go to house lending or another one of my lenders that I'll tell you about in a little bit. I'm gonna go to them and I'm gonna take, let's just say 25,000 out of your money, and I'm gonna put it down into that my next deal. So now I'm gonna show house lending, yo, I got 25,000. They're gonna say, yo, listen, we can give you another 200 to match with that. So now I got 225 to buy something and fix something up. But mind you, I still got your other 25 in the pocket. So now I go ahead and then start my rehab process with your 50,000. And in 6 to 9 months, I get that property fixed up, I get it stabilized, and I force the value. I force the appreciation. So now I'm all in the hole for 225 to 250. It's worth 500. Now I go ahead and refinance out. I pull all my equity back out, and I hit you back off. I say, hun, Marvin, take the 50. You know what? I check the side. I say, this is a good dude. He let me take another 7,000. So I'm giving you 7,000 on your money. So I just gave you back 57,000. You like, what's the extra 7,000 for? I said, Marvin, that's just from looking out for me. You like, all right, well, let me know when you need to borrow this again.
Right.
I said, hold on, I got you. I'll be back next week. So now I'm still never using my money. I'm using a private money lender, which is you. And listen, mom, dad, brother, cousin, friend, auntie, uncle, niece, nephew, they could be hard money lenders. And it don't got to be one of them. That's the key. It don't got to be one of them. You can literally take money from multiple hard money lenders or private money lenders at one time and literally group it together and then go get something even massive. But obviously, you got to have contracts involved. Talk to an attorney to get your contracts written up. You know what I mean? So that you can go ahead and have them contracts signed and everybody legally bonded. Yeah,
man, this is poetry in motion.
Yeah,
this is poetry in motion. What you understand? One key point that you made, and by the way, you made mention that you have another lender. I'm not gonna let you just slip it. You're gonna have to drop that. You're gonna have to drop that. You made a great point in all these things that you're saying. One key thing that I hear you referencing back to is the importance of just building those relationships, though, right? Like, you know, for example, the example that you gave with the private money lender, slipping them an extra 7,000. Now, not only are you showing the person that you're responsible with their money, right? And that's when we talk about credit and things of that nature, but giving them back that extra 7,000. Now, you know, the next time you come around for a deal, instead of them giving you that 12 months, you're like, you know what, Newt, come back in 15 months. Maybe it becomes 18 months because they know you're good for it.
Or they say, instead of taking 50, take this 90.
You
just talk about the time. Let's talk about the money.
Let's talk about the money,
You know what I mean? So it's like, it get crazy on what happens. You don't got, it been many times where people say, you know what, Newt, this investment thing for me went so good with you, and I started off with 50,000. You know what? I'm going to give you another 40 to tap onto that 50, make it look like 90, and then you go ahead and get situate me when you get done. And now I'm like, I'm 24, 25.
Right.
Like, you trusting in me to do this? And I'm really out here running these. Like I said, when you come to Philly, Newt the entrepreneur, Newt_the entrepreneur. When you come to Philly, you know who to hit up when you want some properties.
Oh, yeah.
You know who to call.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
So,
okay. But now somebody, because like I said, I'm trying to knock down all objections. Somebody may be watching this and being like, well, I don't have any aunts, uncles, cousins that I could borrow that kind of money from.
Yep.
Are there other different places that we can find private money lenders that we can, you know, get some bread from to finance these deals?
Yep. Uncle or auntie Google.
Uncle, auntie, what do you mean by that?
So, Uncle Google.
Okay.
Uncle Google, right?
Okay.
Uncle Google, you can literally Google private money lenders.
Okay.
Google private money lenders. So here's the thing. There's a lot of hard money lenders masking behind that word private money lenders and still charging those high fees. Here how you know this how you're gonna know if there's a private money lender or hard money lender. If that hard money lender / private money lender has a whole firm behind them and backing them and they work for this institution, 95% of the time that's a hard money lender. When you can talk to direct president, owner, CEO of that company, whether they're on Google or wherever you found them at, and that you want to be able to kind of show them what your portfolio look like, or if you haven't started yet, what's the goal, and then how they've been able to help other new investors. That's the key. So you want to work with an investor-friendly lender.
Gotcha.
That's pretty much it. If you Google new investor-friendly lender on Google, oh man,
listen,
that right there will take you from here
to the moon.
Listen, you'll be a couple M's before you know it for sure.
I love it. I love it. Now you did say there's one more lender. You got to drop it, brother. I don't want to put you on the spot. You said it, not me.
Listen. All right, listen, y'all. Lima One Capital.
Say it again.
Lima One. That's LIMA ONE Capital.
Okay.
They are really big with helping newbie investors. I'm talking about you never did a deal before.
Right.
You don't even know what it probably looked like. You never even seen the top of your roof.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You don't know nothing, but you can tell them, hey, I think I want to buy that property over here. I got a little bit of knowledge, got a little bit of decent credit. I'm trying to buy it. They'll help you through from start to finish. And they got a new division where, as though, if you need people to help you rehab the property, they got specialized contractors. They got contractors that's affiliate to them, that they know are trusted, and say, you know what, Marvin, you don't know how to do properties, but you got some type of ambition to get properties, and you don't know how to rehab it. All right, we're going to get the money, but you got to pay John, and John is one of our referred contractors. Now they know John will get your property done, and they're going to get their money back, and you're going to be successful. So it's kind of like a business in a box.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
Oh.
Yeah, it get crazy, man.
No.
Listen.
No.
That's what it's about.
No. I'll flip your chair over right now, brother.
Listen, man.
You're doing a lot right now, brother.
Man, they got to get this work.
You're doing a lot right now, brother. I don't know. This is phenomenal stuff, bro.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Can we keep going? Is that all right with you?
Listen, as long as they want to hear more games.
I just want to make sure it's all right with you.
Yeah, it's perfect with me.
All right.
I got a Rolodex.
All right, there you go.
know what I
Okay.
mean?
All right. So now watch this, right? We found the deal. We know what a good deal looks like versus what a bad deal looks like. We found out different ways to finance it. Lima One Capital, house lending. Am I saying it right?
Yep, house lending.
Uncle Google, Auntie Google. The list just goes on and on and on. We locked the deal down, right?
Yeah.
We're still in the process of locking the deal down because there's another step to this process that, quite frankly, personally, I feel like I don't hear enough real estate investors talking about.
Yeah.
I keep hearing this thing about, I know of this thing that's called running title, dealing with title companies, right?
Most important thing.
And I don't hear enough people talking about it. So I would be remiss. Like I said, I want this to be a masterclass. I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about that. Let's dive a little bit more into that. For those who don't know, if I'm a new investor, what does that mean? What is running title? What does it mean to deal with a title company? And why is title so important in this process of us securing that first property?
Title is everything, right? No lender, literally no lender, most lenders, but I don't want to say no because there's probably at least one person out there and that would contradict that, right? But most lenders, it's not going to fund that deal if the title is not clear.
Gotcha.
Right? So when you go to the title company, you can just Google real estate title companies. There's 1,000 of them out here, millions of them out here. You're going to open up title on a specific property, right? So let's say the property is 1234 Main Street. You say, hey, title company X, I want you to open up title on 1234 Main Street and let me know if anything comes up. So you ever seen that commercial like, show me the Carfax? Pretty much the running title is the Carfax for the property.
Okay.
So it tells you how many owners it was, when the last time it was sold. Is there any liens? Is there any judgments? Is there any back taxes, back water bill, back gas bill? It's literally everything on that property in one.
Gotcha.
So as long as you don't have nothing negative on that report, 95% of the time it's going to be able to be funded, right? Unless something subliminally or if there's a probate. Like we don't talk about that a lot, where someone passed away and they don't have a will. Oh, man.
Oh, that's all. Talk about that.
All right, listen. If you don't have a living will or a trust to be able to hand or a trustee to handle your estates,
right,
and you, God forbid, pass and leave this earth, it's going to go to probate. You're going to have to deal with the city.
Okay.
Right? So now dealing with the city going to get involved, and there's a lot of transfer taxes and a lot of things that's going to negatively affect your family when you were doing something positively here to set them up, right? But that's all I'm gonna say about that for right now. Let me jump back into
Let's go.
Let me jump back into the title search. So now that you got your Carfax for the property, now the property is technically good enough for you to buy it, right? There's no lien, there's no back taxes, nobody trying to sue you, nobody slipped and fell back in 1989, still pending a lawsuit. Now, once you get these things done, at that point, you can now get title commitment, which is title insurance. So now that title company is going to insure that property and say, listen, from this very moment right here, there's not going to be anything negatively that can pop up in the past. Now, in the future, things still can occur, but nothing from the past can come haunt you, and that's what you want. So if the property don't have a clear title, you're not going to be able to get title insurance. And if you don't get title insurance, you can't buy the property. You can't buy the property, you don't have a deal. If you don't have a deal, you ain't making that mill.
You ain't say, say that last part again. I like that. Hold on.
You ain't making that mill.
You ain't making that mill.
You know
So,
what I mean?
like you said, title is everything.
Everything.
Title is everything.
Everything.
And it's not. And now my question is, when it comes to finding a good title company, is it fluctuate and vary depending on what stage you're in, or is it kind of just, oh man, this man took a deep breath. Talk to me. I don't know.
Man.
You look like you've been through some things, brother. Talk to me.
Have I?
Talk to me.
Title companies are super essential. It's literally like your barber or your hairstylist. You know how you like, yo, I'm committed. Like, I'm not about to be going to 7 different barbers. Like, you just embedded to that individual. Like me, I only really want to close at one title company. And the reason why is because they make things seamless and they got enough coverage. Should something go wrong, you want to be able to be somewhere with someone who can protect not only themselves but you, because you're their client.
Gotcha. Right?
And a lot of title companies, they may have not enough insurance or enough insurance that only cover them. So if something arises, you on your own, like imagine you paying insurance every month for your car. You paying Geico, Progressive, or State Farm, and you paying insurance every month. They take it out your account. They send you confirmation. Thank you, Marvin, for paying your bill this month. See you next month. And then you go ahead and get, God forbid, get into a little fender bender, nothing major, and you can't get nobody on the phone. They like, Marvin, yeah, bro, you got to handle that on yourself. You like, yo, I pay y'all every month and I can't get no assist. Like, that's how it feel going to the wrong title company. You need a title company that's going to do their due diligence, not only on the property, but on the seller. You know what I mean? Like, I want whether the seller is an individual or entity, because a lot of us like to hide behind our LLCs and S corps and all that, and which is great, right? Because it's a limited liability company. Right. But you want a title company that can kind of weed through that and say, all right, you know what, the owner is Marvin, although you hide behind Investments LLC. You know what I mean? So that picking the right title company literally can make or break your deal. Man. Yeah.
Brother.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me set up.
Listen, you gotta get ready.
I gotta get ready, man. Yeah. Okay. So the title company you work with now, is that like if I'm in? Do I have to be in Philly to work with the title company that you work with, or is it?
No. They do have remote. They do they can send you a mobile closer.
Do you want to name drop them or you want to keep it on?
Yes, I do.
Okay, go ahead. go ahead, bro. Talk to
Terra Abstract. Okay. They out in Warrenton, Pennsylvania, so they're not even in Philly. So when I close, I'm driving 45 minutes out of the city to get to closing.
They that good?
Yeah. Oh, they that good.
Spell it out.
Terra Abstract. TERRA Abstract. I work with Beth, Carla,
you named
and Shannon.
This man is giving names at the title
reach out to Terra Abstract. You can reach out to Beth, Carla, or Shannon, and let them know that Newt/Cornelius sent you, and they gonna take care of you. That's who I close with. That's my preferred title agency. They have lawyers there. They have attorneys there. You can get a will. You can get a trust. You can get a living will, which we don't talk about. Everybody want to talk about the trust, and I get it, but there's other pros and cons to everything. Right. But they can pretty much do everything in-house. Boom. You know what I mean? For an affordable rate.
Terra Abstract.
This
man is giving not only the names within the company. That's how you know you're doing good business.
Yeah. I done probably close.
You don't got to say the number. This man took a deep sigh. He said, we done a good business together.
I probably done closed about 40 deals with them.
Beautiful.
40 deals with them.
Counting.
And counting. Yeah, right. And I got one next week on the 16th.
See?
Or 15th, whatever that Thursday or Friday is.
Got you. Man. Yeah. Okay. So now we understand, like you said, title is everything. Understanding the importance of title, what role a title company plays in this process that we're going through as a new investor. Yeah. So we've gone through all of that. Congratulations, we got our property, right? But once again, the work isn't done.
Not even started.
Oh.
Not even started.
So, because now, if we're buying a distressed property, we ain't renting out the distressed property. We got to fix that thing up. It's time for the rehab process, right? Now, this is where things get really interesting. And this is where we go back to your experience that first go around as a real estate investor. Contractors.
Yeah.
The contractors.
Let me tell you this right here, right?
Talk to me.
Let me look directly in the camera.
Oh, it's getting real.
If your contractor tells you he or she can do everything, they're fired before hired.
Say it again.
All right? They're fired before hired. So if you tell me, if I'm asking you, yo, Marvin, I see you pretty dirty. You look like you work in the field.
Mhm.
What do? Everything. I'm done with the conversation. Thank you, sir.
Immediately.
There's no more to talk about. You're telling me you do everything. I don't want that type of person on my team. No. What do you specialize in?
Mhm.
Everything. Thank you. I appreciate your time.
That's it.
Next. You don't even get an opportunity. And little did you know, I got 40, 50 projects at one time. You could have been with me for the rest of your life.
Right.
Working.
Right.
Like not soliciting new business because I have the business. I have the work every day. Like I said, when you come to Philly, you know who to ask for. You know what I mean? So like that alone, if your contractor say they do everything, you just run.
So I mean, you answered my question before I could even ask it, right? Because I was getting ready to ask, like, hey, what are we looking for in a contractor? You kind of just broke it down right there.
Yeah.
You don't want a contractor that's over here selling you, false hope that I do sheetrock, plaster, taping, I do roofing.
But the thing is, a lot of contractors can do multiple things. So
Gotcha.
I don't want to be naive to that to say like, oh, you only can specialize in one thing. Like you could be good at plumbing and roofing, but those two things don't coincide with each other, and they're not predecessors of one another or successors.
Okay.
So, well, and theoretically, not really, right? Not in the perfect world. So it's okay to have them do those two phases. But my plumber can't be my electrician.
Right.
Can't be my HVACer or my HVAC technician because those things can go on chronologically, literally at the same time. You know what I mean? Well, following each other and concurrently. So if you're doing HVAC, you can't be doing my plumbing. If you're doing my plumbing, you can't be doing my HVAC. So I need different tradesmen or tradeswomen at that time to be able to get my project along. Now, like I said, if you're doing something in the beginning and the end, so be it. You know what I mean? Like I have that multiple times, hired two guys or one guy for two different phases in the beginning and the end. But if you're doing critical phases at the same time, if you're doing plumbing, something else is not getting done because you're focused on plumbing. It's just that simple. So that's why I don't hire that same guy to do multiple trades right behind one another.
So when it comes to getting contractors for these projects, are you getting a contractor for every single? Because I like I said, I follow you. I know you have a guy for your demo, right? Shouts to SD.
Listen. Y'all see it right here. Y'all see the camera? Shout out to my guy Sharif, man. Best demo guy in the world. Yeah, I'm stamping that in the world. You know what I mean?
So now that's my next question to you. This is a two-part question. So the first part of the question is, do I need to get a contractor for every phase of the project?
Okay.
And the second question is, whether I do or I don't, how we go about finding these contractors, right? Because that's the most important thing. I'm a new investor, right? Talk to me.
You're a newbie.
I don't know.
You fresh out. You know what I mean? So no, you do not need to get a different contractor for each phase of the job, right? Can you do so? Yes. Have I done it? Yes. Is it the best form of action? No. And here's why. And I'll answer the second part. I noticed that when you sub out everything, that's called a subcontractor. When you sub out every single phase, your overall rehab number becomes like this. Because everybody's charging you their individual rate.
Right.
But when you say, yo, Marvin, you paint, you do doors, and you do trim, what's in the quote for all three? So now you say, oh, you gonna give me all three, you gonna give me 3 jobs instead of that one? Yeah, so instead of charging you 4, 4, and 4, which would have been 12, you like, you know what? I can do all of it for 95. You know what I mean? Now I'm saving money, but now I'm grouping some things along. So that's like I've been finding that to be super successful and good. And then what was the second part of that question?
The second part is, where are we going to find these contractors? I know one thing I hear a lot of real estate investors, you go to the parking lot in Home Depot and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Where am I finding these people at?
That's a good one. I find a lot of my guys or females or ladies on the site. So you don't like I have picked up contractor from Home Depot. My very trusted one, shout out to my guy Carlos. I picked him up from Home Depot and he's been working with me for 2 years. This guy was at Home Depot passing out business cards every day, soliciting work. Hey, I do paint. Hey, I do plumbing. Hey, I do floors. And people will use him here and there for one of our jobs and then don't pay him or pay him a little bit and kick him to the curb. And he back at Home Depot giving out business cards. And I noticed that I got a stack of cards like this at home in like a rubber band. And I have Carlos cards like 4 or 5 times. And that stuck out to me like, why I got the same card? I put it to the side, go through another one. And I'm like, yo, this is all the same guy, Carlos. I said, yo, he's really pumping. He out here marketing. So you know what? I'm gonna give him a call. Ever since then, Carlos.
That's your guy.
Carlos ain't been back to Home Depot since.
2
years later. You know what I mean?
Right.
2 years later, he got 3 trucks now and everything. He doing the thing.
Right.
But that's one way. But the second way, which is for me, Well, it's my first way, and it's like the most dominant way in today's society
Mhm.
is to pull up on other people's job sites.
Okay.
Right? So if you're doing a project right in North Philly, South Philly, West Philly, Center City, and I'm riding around, I'm doing my daily commute, and I ride by something that I look to be like, oh, that look pretty decent. They following OSHA requirements. They got their hard hats on. They got their vest on. You know what I mean, the job site is clean. You know what I mean? Let me pull over. So I've been put my hazards on. Hey, you know what I mean? Some guys don't speak English. Donde está jefe? Like, where's the boss? You know what I mean?
Okay.
I'm starting to know these things. So I'm figuring out exactly who the boss is. And if you are the boss, hey, you got a car, you got a number. Do you mind if I take a walk in? Most time they don't know what I'm saying because they don't speak English. And if they do, they say, go right ahead. Now I'm going in there and I'm able to see the actual the craftsmanship, the work that's being displayed. So now I'm like, did you do this? See. They like, yes. I'm like, let me go ahead. Let me see. Then they getting in action. So I'm watching them tape, putting the drywall up. I'm like, yo, this boy raw. Let me get your number. You know what I mean? And 95% of the time, I'm gonna give y'all a gem. 95% of the time, the people that's working for this particular property, they working underneath someone else. Right? So there's a boss that's not on the job site.
Right.
But his workers are. Right? I don't really care to get the boss number because the boss not there. He's going to charge me to be the boss. Right? He's going to charge me to have his guys come.
Yeah, he's going to be the middleman.
He's going to be the middleman making a couple $1,000s off me. And I'm not counting nobody's pockets. I never do.
Right.
But if I can go direct to the source, why not? You here, you actually the one putting the ceramic down. Not your boss. You want to give me the boss number. I'm like, give me your number. They give me their number. I call it. It's the boss in the office. No, what's your number? Like, what's your phone in your pocket? What's that number?
Yeah.
And I get their number, and now I can go ahead and get them work separately. You know what I mean? Sometimes they be honorable and say, no, I don't want to get the work. Sometimes they may not be happy at their job.
That's
and
a
they
fact.
say, you know what? I'm going to take an opportunity. And I got two guys like that right now. They've been with me for 2.5 years.
Yeah, ain't no more donde está jefe.
Yeah, no more.
Jefe right here.
Yeah. Grande jefe. The big jefe.
The big jefe.
The big boss. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
That's how you find your contractors and make sure they solidify.
You said something else that was key. And another three letter, and this one probably gonna make you, make you jump a little bit. Another 3-letter acronym, because you mentioned this, but you ain't really mention it, but I'm gonna mention it.
Yeah.
L&I.
Oh,
you
baby.
Oh, you thought I didn't know.
Listen.
You thought I didn't know.
Oh my goodness.
Now, there are people that are watching this that's like, they're like, what's an L&I? But this is important. It doesn't matter if you're in Philly, doesn't matter if you're in Baltimore, doesn't matter if you're in New York, whatever the case may be. L&I is another important one, right?
Yeah.
First of all, explain to people who don't know what L&I is.
The enemy. Huh?
This man said the enemy. And also explain why it's so, that's another part that I don't hear a lot of people. We always hear about, the fun stuff or the glitz and the glamour of real estate. But man, I want to get into the details, man. I want to get into the nitty gritty because once again, I want this sit down to be a master class for a new investor.
Yep.
What is L&I? Why are they so important? And even if I'm not in Philly and I am where I'm at, how do I, maneuver around them to get this project done?
Perfect. L&I is license and inspection, right? That's the department that can come in and shut you down. Most times you see that in health and restaurants. L&I will come shut a restaurant down. They got a health violation. They can't sell food anymore, right? But L&I also does that same thing with residential. It's a love-hate relationship with L&I. L&I is a really, really good safeguard for newbie investors that don't know real estate to ensure they getting their project done correctly by their contractor. So L&I can come in and be the liaison and say, hey, that framing is not per code. And now you as a homeowner can get on your contractor and say, yo, I failed my inspection. You got to make it look like this. Now you can ensure that your work is being done the right way, right? That's a safeguard, right? That's literally insurance right there, right? Free insurance because you don't got to pay L&I to come out. Well, yes, indirectly, right?
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of, so it just depends. But on the second side of that, the hate side of that relationship is the fact that L&I are hiring in today's time new inspectors. Listen, y'all, I'm not bragging. I have a master's degree in engineering. I got a certain level of educational debt, not really, but I done been in schooling for a while to be able to then have a master's degree in engineering. I worked in corporate America for 2.5 years. You know what I mean? Making great money. I know what construction consists of. You a newbie that spent Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in a training for 2 hours or 6 hours a day coming to inspect my job site. You don't know what you're doing. So now you're an inspector. As L&I, you're trying to tell me on my job site something that you learned on a weekend and you was texting 35% of the class. You wasn't even paying attention.
Right.
But now you coming to my job site telling me I'm doing something wrong because of what you thought you heard at your training. No, homeboy or homegirl. I've been doing this for a minute.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's literally a love-hate relationship with me. Like some days I'm like this. Nah, yes. Some days I'm like, I'm ready to go to war.
Mhm.
I'm going to war because you are preventing my millions from being made because of your inability of understanding what you learned in your 3-day training. Now, you may have an inspector that's been there for 13, 14 years, and guess what? Those are the ones that understand what's being done. Those are the ones that understand this. There's technology, right? iPhone 14 about to come out. Things been progressing, right? So you learned in your 3-day class to use this type of board. But you don't know that 2 weeks later, the newest board came out that's even better than the old board. Now you trying to revert me back. It's like, yo, we have to move with the time. And most times, nah, I can't do that and won't do that. So that's why it's a love-hate relationship. But like I said, if you're a new investor and you're trying to get in, L&I is required in the city of Philadelphia to do any type of construction. So we do use them often. We do have a good relationship with them, but it sometimes can be not the best. You know what I mean?
What are some key things that we can make sure we're doing on our property to ensure that whenever, like I said, because L&I is a Philly thing. If I'm in Baltimore, New York, whatever it may be, what are some key things that I want to make sure I have in place at my property during the rehab process to ensure that when somebody from L&I comes through, I'm not over here, banging my head against a wall because they over here, talking about this is a violation.
Yeah. It's number one thing, safety.
Okay.
Safety first. So like handrails, if you got like stairs, handrails, clean job sites.
Okay.
All that. Like there's not many places for the guys to eat, right? But in the property. And there's not many places, I'm to keep it real, there's not many places for your guys to use the bathroom unless you have a porta-john, like a porta potty. And you don't want to put a porta potty in North Philly. You know what I mean? That's the neighborhood bathroom now. You know what I mean? For all the type of people that's just walking around.
Hey.
So I sometimes I tell my guys, like, listen, we got to go to the nearest Rite Aid or Home Depot or Lowe's or McDonald's. And you know what I mean? So there's a lot of things that go on a job site that probably shouldn't be going on. So just want to make sure safety is number one, the cleanliness of the project, you know what I mean? Make sure everything is clean. And then last but not least, having the plans on site that you're supposed to be following in order for the inspector to know what's happening. That's like the 3 major things. And if you do that, you'll be somewhat okay.
You'll be all right.
You'll be all right. You know what I mean? You'll be okay. But there's still some things that can probably go wrong. But for the most part, you'll have all your I's dotted and your T's crossed.
Boom, there you go. All right, so now, found the deal, financed the deal.
Yeah.
Financed the deal, fixed it up. We went through L&I, we went through title, we went through all these different things.
Yeah.
Let's say we're at, we've gone through the refi. Let's say we're going through the refi process.
Ooh.
We can dive into that too.
You don't want to get into the refinance.
Talk to me.
So I'm gonna give you the play, y'all. I've been waiting for this.
Talk to me.
I've been waiting for this. I don't really do podcasts too often.
I got to get everything. Josh, on episode. Am I good? Can we go? Okay, go.
Listen, with the refinance, I tell people like this: the fastest refinance people out here, right? It's like 3 weeks. You can get a refinance done in 21 days. When you putting your drywall up, when you're hanging the drywall in your house, right? You still have to do painting, floors, doors, trim, cabinets, appliances, punching lists, like cleaning, right? Leasing.
Right.
There's still quite a bit of things that get done. But if you are running a seamless project, when you put the drywall up, you should be applying for your refinance at that very moment. You know why? Because in 3 weeks, when a refinance should be ready to be closed, that's give you 3 weeks to continue the construction. So I'm killing 2 birds with 1 stone. So I'm using the same 3 weeks to finish my project and move my refinance process along to closing. Now, here's the best part about it is most lenders are saying, hey, Marvin, in order for me to refinance your property have to be leased out. You have to have tenants in place.
Right.
Or, hey, Marvin, you have to have legal Airbnb, and we need to know that it's a short-term rental. You got to have all your licenses, which most people don't have, right?
Right.
So me, I don't do Airbnb. I do long-term tenants.
Right.
So here's the thing. I got a new lender. I can't give out on here, but you know what I mean?
That's fine.
I got a new lender that say, you know what? I don't care if the building is leased out. I just need to see that it's fully renovated. My, oh my. Do you understand how that changed the game?
Talk to me.
So I'm able to refinance immediately after construction is done without me having a tenant in place. Right? Here's the other kicker. Most lenders are only refinancing at 75% loan to value. That's LTV, another three-letter acronym, right?
Right.
LTV, loan to value. So your ARV, they only go up to 75% of what the building is worth, right? I have a lender that say, you know what? We go up to 80% LTV.
Game changer.
80% LTV. But that's just a little sprinkle. Let's put the cherry on top, right?
Let's do it.
Let's say you got a lender that say, hey, we do 75% LTV. You need to have leases in place, right? Or the building need to be occupied. Right? Leases in place, occupied. It could be occupied by anybody.
Hold on.
It could be occupied by anybody. Right? So let me just ask you something real fast.
Talk to me.
When let's say you selling the house, what are some things you're going to do to entice that house to look good for the buyer?
I'm gonna dress it up nice, make sure
What?
I'm gonna make sure everything looks nice, floors, everything's clean.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
What else you gonna do though?
Inside the house?
Inside the house.
I'm gonna
after the rehab is done. Now everything is beautified. It's walls painted, nice kitchen.
I'm gonna put some furniture in there.
Ooh. You hit
that it?
That's it.
Okay. Talk to
Nail
me.
in the coffin. You're gonna stage it.
Oh.
You're gonna stage the house.
Okay.
Marvin, listen to me.
Talk to me.
You're gonna stage the house to make the house look better than what it technically is, and give it because some people can't come into an open space and see what they can do with it. So you dress it up and make it look nice and put a couch here and TV here and flat screen here and vanity here and masterpiece here and centerpiece there, flowers and plants and all that to make it look good so they can envision what it could look like.
Right.
Now you hired a stager. So what if you hire a stager to stage your unrented building?
Let me sip this water.
Yeah. Unrented building. So you can hire a stager to come into your building and stage the property. Shout out to my guy, Kyle. You know what I mean? You can stage the property. Literally stage the property and get the property appraised because it looked like it's occupied. My guy, Calvin Cannon Jr., shout out to you, Kyle. Calvin got somebody that would come and put toothpaste residue in the sink.
Yo, what?
Listen. It gets real.
Yo, what's going on? This is a whole go.
Listen. And you know what's crazy? I don't want people to think, it's a scam. No. We got this advice from the lender. We won't say who our lender is. Our lender put us on game. Yo, listen. I said, I ain't gonna be able to rent this building out. I still gotta get my tenants in there. We still gotta do background checks. I gotta make sure they make 3 times the rent. I gotta do first, last security. Then they gotta move their stuff in. What if they don't move it? What if the furniture don't come for another 2 weeks? I can't refinance. The lender said, well, what you could do is, I'm like, okay. You know what I mean? So now we have a specific lender that will come in and stage the property. Y'all see this? Stage the property, make it look occupied. Then the lender come in and say, the building occupied, we can cash you out. Y'all, the building is not staged. The building is not occupied. I'm sorry. All it is staged. But during that time, guess what you're doing? You definitely seeking a tenant. You ain't just keep running around and staging buildings and not getting real. Like, we got real tenants, y'all. Trust me, we don't have no vacancies at all. Shout out to that. Thank God for that. We don't have no vacancies. But I will say, if need be, if I got to get that money out, trust and believe we gonna stage that building. Yeah, that's the cherry on top right there.
You know what's crazy? I'm not gonna lie. I'm still stuck on toothpaste residue. What in the detective CSI files? That is crazy.
You gotta make it look real. You gotta make it look real. If it don't look real, it ain't happen.
Hey, man.
Listen, it's serious, man.
Man.
Listen, if y'all watching this, rewind this part, video this part, tag myself, tag Marvin in this part, and let us know that you got some game off of that.
Hey, man.
You know what I mean? For real. That's what it's about.
Okay. That's a gem. That's not even gem. That's the whole bank right there.
Yeah.
That's something. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna give him one more thing.
Talk to me.
I'm gonna give him one more thing.
This man about to burn this. Okay.
Yeah, y'all got fire extinguisher somewhere.
It's about to get sprayed. Go.
Listen, right.
Go ahead.
So what you want to do is, when you get your appraiser to come out to the property, the appraiser wants to see the building occupied. Right? You got your girlfriend, you got your boyfriend,
right?
Got your cousin, you got your sister, you got your niece, you got somebody. You go ahead and put some items in there. You get the house staged, and you put your little cousin in there. Her and her man, or him and his female, or however they do it, right? They come in there. Now you knock on the door. Landlord. Now the appraiser is seeing you make an honest effort to get inside a occupied building.
Yo, what's going on in this?
Oh my
podcast,
God!
man?
Listen, so now we go in. My cousin, my cousin, who he don't know is my cousin, is in there cooking on the stove.
Yo, what is going on this podcast right now,
Man,
brother?
It's serious. It's serious. It's
You
like,
putting together a whole production.
listen. But here's the thing. I want you to. I want to tread lightly, and it's like I don't want to sell false hope. This right here is what a lot of people is doing, and I'm giving you the game so you can understand. I'm getting real tenants in place. Trust me. You can come to when you come to Philly. Come see me, right?
Right.
I have legitimate tenants who really have jobs and on subsidy housing and through programs and stuff like that. Like I don't really have to go through this option because we make our units nice enough to have our buildings leased out. So I'm not really going through this process, but of course you got to know about it, right? So I'm giving you the game on how to get things done. And have I done it before? Absolutely. And when times when I wasn't able to get the tenant in or the tenant didn't have the funds to move in, but I already selected the tenant, you know what I mean? And she had to say, hey, I can't move in for another 2.5 weeks. I say, you know what? I can't wait that long. I got to appraise the property. But that's not her concern. I got to do what I got to do in that 2 weeks. It's like a transactional thing. Right. You know what I mean? But trust me, the best way to go about this is to have tenants in place, legitimate tenants. But if you need to, you got the game. Got the game. Yeah, that's some major game right there. That's some gems right there. That's pressure. Yeah, I was looking for the fire suppression myself. You know what I mean? I don't see no sprinkler heads in here. You know what I mean? I think one back there. You know what I mean? We fire extinguisher over there. We need to get that.
If I didn't respect the studio so much, I'd move some furniture right now.
Listen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I know we're gonna have to wrap this up, but
absolutely.
But there's one more part I want to touch on before we wrap this up, because this is probably, you know, let's say we're getting to the last part of this process.
Yeah.
You said something key. Let's talk tenants. This is it, right? This is what's bringing in the money, right? This is what makes us. Now we taking off the real estate investor hat, we putting on the landlord hat here, right?
In business.
We got our property fixed up. We going through the refi process. We got toothpaste residue. We got all these different things, right? Finding tenants, man. How can we go about finding the right tenants for our property? Because we don't want to just bring anybody in.
All right. Man, you told me don't get no more gems out, but you told me, you said during the podcast,
right,
and prior to the podcast starting, you said you wanted to be like a master class. You know what I mean?
Let's go.
This is an intensive. This is a 1 hour intensive.
Let's go.
You know what I mean? Shout out to my guy Runway Billionaire with the 2-day intensives and everything. Right. What you want to do is you want to be able to give people the game that they can go out and make actionable steps with today.
100%.
With little to no experience.
Right.
That people want. We live in a modern day. People want literally microwavable success. They don't want to have to preheat the oven, and they don't want delayed gratification. They want instant gratification. With that being said, I don't rent to private tenants.
Okay.
I have private tenants, but I have changed my philosophy since then. Okay. There's nothing wrong. I'm not discriminating. My preference, shall I say, is to rent to somebody that has subsidy assistance, whether it's 50%, 75%, or 100%. So I want to rent to the program or the individual that has money being funded by the government of some sort. All right? So if you're the lawyer, the doctor, the dentist, and you're making 6 figures, my apartment's probably not for you, right? Well, I'll take you, of course, right? But I'm looking for that long-term, stabilized income from the government.
Okay.
From the government, right? So here's what I'm doing. I'm going to just drop it like this. There's a program. Everybody look this up. Take a pen and pad down. There's a program called the WA program. WA.
Okay. Is that an acronym?
That's an acronym. Another 3-letter acronym.
There you go.
WAA.
Okay.
Women Against Abuse.
Okay.
That program.
Yo, what's going on today?
Listen, Marvin, you know how you roll out the scroll?
Right.
And it just keep rolling?
Right.
And then you got to use a magnifying glass to see. That's how many tenants don't have housing on that list.
Okay.
All right? I'm only one individual, one investor. I'm trying to cross out each individual name, trying to get these people placed. It's probably going to take me 2.5 lifetimes to fill that up, right? I need some help, other investors.
Right.
Women Against Abuse. Let's do something. Let's make a change. So here it is. I'm renting to a program called Women Against Abuse, where they literally funding 95 to 100% of the rent.
Okay.
You hear?
I hear you.
So your rent could be $1,000. They paying $950. You getting the other $50 from your tenant. if the tenant is, hear me out. If the tenant don't pay they $50 a month, 50 times 12 is 600. If you crying over $600, now most time they going to pay you,
Right.
but $600 ain't gonna make or break you. You already getting the bulk of your money from the program.
100%.
They do 1 bedroom, they do 2 bedrooms. I even think they do 3 bedrooms. But my philosophy is 1 and 2 bedrooms.
Mhm.
That's what I'm going for. So I don't have many 3 bedrooms, so I don't want to say they do, but I'm sure they do, right? I'm sure there's females who has multiple children that needs. And here's the thing: once the children get of age, the same sex children can only reside in the space. But opposite sex, once they get I think it's 7 years old, they have to have their own room. So now if you got a mother and a son and a daughter that's both older than 7, you know they need a 3 bedroom. But if it was 2 7-year-old boys or 2 7-year-old girls, they can be in the same room. They don't have to switch. So now that right there, I know they do 3 bedrooms because of that philosophy. You know what I mean? So I'm renting to a program that's just subsidy housing. And when that check come in between the 1st and the 5th, guaranteed. Ain't nothing like it. Ain't nothing like it. Listen, Marvin, you asked me to come out to Brooklyn. I drove an hour and 45 minutes with traffic. And I mean, circled the block twice for parking. They had to get this work today, bro. They had to get this work. Yeah. Let's get it, man.
Yeah, where you from? No, you're not from Philly, brother.
Yes, born and raised. North Philly.
You're the entrepreneur. Man, thank you.
No, absolutely. Thank you for having me.
No, this was one of them ones.
Yeah.
This was look at Josh. I ain't never seen Josh shake his head after an episode. Look at that man in the corner.
Listen, no doubt. Appreciate it, Josh.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Hey.
Run these views up. That's that. Send this to a friend, a loved one. Let's have Marvin bring you back and we can talk about the trucking one day. Listen, you don't want to do that. You know what I mean? We ain't got the time today, but we can talk about trucking. I mean, let's run these views up. Maybe Marvin bring me back out to Brooklyn. We'll go ahead and talk about trucking on the next one.
New entrepreneur.
Listen, man.
Real estate. Man, I'm at a loss for words, brother.
Appreciate that.
I appreciate you so much for just coming here and dropping all the jewels, all the gems, all this game.
Yeah.
Well, you, even going back to the tenant situation, I thought he was about to say Section 80. I have never heard of what?
Yeah.
Top management. Have you ever what? No.
Listen, the what program? That's where I'm telling you, this program is nationwide. So if you're anywhere, Colorado, Denver, Florida, Miami, Texas, Oklahoma, Nebraska, Idaho, Boston, New York, it doesn't matter.
Right.
Look up the what program. They have a bunch of different institutions, a bunch of different divisions. And there's a bunch of different individuals on that list that need housing. Right? And they're going to pay 95 to 100%. So if I can get guaranteed money or potential money, I'm going to go with the guaranteed money every time. Every time. So the what program, Woman Against Abuse, shout out to them. I love y'all too, by the way.
There you go. My guy. But we got to get you out of here. But before we do, take a second, of course, to just let the people know where they can find you, what you have going on, and just leave them with some final words so we can wrap this
No doubt.
up.
So as mentioned, New to Entrepreneur, you can follow me on all social media handles at NEWT_the entrepreneur.
Okay.
Some words of encouragement. Just don't give up. You know what I mean? Just keep pushing forward. Keep asking questions. Keep educating yourself. Get around like-minded individuals. Just because you didn't come from a millionaire family don't mean a millionaire family can't come from you. Feel me? And if you keep that true to yourself, trust me, you on your way. You know what I mean? And that's pretty much it, Marvin.
There you go. My guy. Listen, Newt, thank you so much for sliding through.
Absolutely, bro.
And for everybody that tapped into this episode, if you haven't already, and I'm not sure why you haven't, make sure you take a second, take a minute, take an hour out of your day right here, right now to just go ahead, slap the like button, and tell a friend to tell a friend what just happened here. This is
a massacre.
This is illegal. This is illegal, bro.
No, definitely illegal.
This is not. But man, in all seriousness, thank you for having, and of course, thank you for everybody that tapped in here today. Like I say, as always, I'm Marvin Francois, my guy, New Entrepreneur. Y'all have been good. We've been great. This has been amazing. And as always, thank you.
Absolutely.
And God bless. My guy.
Thank you for having me.
My guy.